Thank you so much for doing this interview with me. Would you start by telling us what your name is and how old you are?
I am Hava and I am 12.
Awesome. Remember, this is just between the two of us. You can relax. Awesome. So if you can summarize the story.
So it all started on one night when I was just feeling my stomach was just hurting and I felt like I was going to puke. And then a few days after that, I had not been sleeping well and I couldn't even move very well because my stomach was hurting. And so my mom thought that it would be best if we went to the doctors to just do a checkup just in case anything was wrong. And we found out that I had a ruptured appendix, which is also called appendicitis. And so we went to the Osher's Child Hospital, and it was 4 a.m, and we did a bunch of CAT scans, and we stayed there for 10 days about, and I had a bunch of IVs, and then I in 5 days through it, I had a noodle thing stuck down my nose, and that wasn't very fun. And then after that, I had a surgery. Towards the end of the 10 days, I had a surgery that had to put a tube in my stomach to take out all the stuff from my appendix. And so that I was asleep, of course, but it wasn't very fun when I woke up. And so I got to go home for a week or two, and then I came to the hospital again for a short time to take the tube out. And then I got to go home again, and for 2 months. And then after that, I had another surgery to take my appendix out. I was asleep, but then when I woke up, the doctors told me that my appendix had disappeared. And they hadn't even found it. They searched, but they couldn't find it. And that was interesting.
So was that the first time you had ever done anything like that? Doctor's appointments and stuff like that?
Yeah, first time for surgery. I've been to doctors before that, with needles, but yeah.
Yeah, what was going on in your life at that time?
Nothing really. We had just been going to movies the first night that I had started to feel sick. While I was at the hospital, it was the 4th of July. I wish I could have been home with the rest of my family, but we got to see some fireworks out of the hospital window. That was fun.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was 10.
Oh, wow. And how did you feel when you first heard you had a ruptured appendix?
I felt really scared when I first heard about it. I started feeling a little better towards the end or the middle. I started feeling a little better, but I was really scared at first.
Awesome.
So I'd never done that before.
Yeah. And how did you respond to that?
I I told you, I started feeling a little better. I was still nervous, but I tried to put on a happy face because my mom was there and I didn't want her to worry about me too much, even though she probably already worried about me a lot. But then I tried to put on a happy face and think of the positive things, and that helped me not worry as much.
Wow, that's awesome. Was there anything that you gained from that experience? Anything you learned?
I learned that more about myself, and I'm braver than I thought I would be in that kind of situation. And it was, I learned to think about I learned a lot of stuff. I just learned to be brave.
That's awesome. How was your overall health affected?
My physical health, it wasn't affected that much. Only that I could only walk around, until I had the tube in my stomach out.
Mm-hmm.
I could only walk around. I think it wasn't, my overall health wasn't affected that much. I probably wasn't very healthy because I didn't really eat anything at all because I wasn't hungry. And so, yeah.
What did you do to take care of yourself?
We had a little block. Well, not an outside block, but a little building in the center of the building of our floor.
Yeah.
Had desks, and so I would try to walk around that every day because they said I shouldn't be walking around too much, but I just walk around that one thing every day, and sometimes go down to the library. That was a few floors down.
Did you ever meet any other children?
Nope, only me. Well, I already met myself, but
Did anyone visit you while you were at the hospital?
There was an actor who visited me. I don't remember him very well, but his son was in a TV show about, it's like Kung Fu Panda, except for it's a TV series, and it's basically like Kung Fu Panda.
Have you ever watched it before?
Yes, after that I watched a couple episodes of it.
That's awesome. How do you think you grew personally?
Like I said before, I felt more sure of myself, and I feel like it helped me a lot to realize that it's not that bad. Well, it was hard, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, who did you turn to, or what did you turn to when you just got really scared or lonely?
I watched movies a lot, and my mom was there, and so I talked with her.
That's cool.
I couldn't really snuggle with her because I had tubes all over me.
Yeah. So was she there all the time, or were you sometimes there alone? Did she switch out with your dad?
No, my dad, he was working, and the rest of my family was home, and so he had me there, okay. And my mom, she left sometimes, to go home to get some grape juice for me, but most of the time, yeah, she was there with me.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for her because there were no beds except my bed, and so she would lay down on the couch.
Oh.
And so I think sometimes she left to visit the house and stay there for a little bit, but I think that's good.
Yeah. Did you have any sisters or brothers?
There with me, or
No, just at home.
Oh yes, I had. Oh no, at home. Drew, Lily, Hiram, I had 8 siblings at the house then.
Wow. Yeah. You mentioned before she went to grab you grape juice. Did you? And then you said again that you didn't eat a lot there. What did you eat, or what drink did you have?
The only thing I really drank was grape juice. And I during the time, my mom tried to convince me to eat stuff, but even when she got me, even when I got stuff, I didn't really eat them. Once I tried a Philly cheesesteak, but that was really spicy, and so I didn't eat a lot of it, and I wasn't hungry anyways.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of those ice pops, and towards the end, I had a waffle, which is actually a French toast, and that's basically all I ate. Besides, oh yes, I also had a turkey sandwich.
Ooh.
But that's all I had.
Yeah. What did you do when you were bored?
I watched movies, read books. There were a lot of times there was one time when the nurse woke me up in the middle of the night because my nose plug had fallen out, and so she had to put it in again. I was really tired, so I started crying because I was really tired, and yeah, I'm you already put this in me. I don't want to put it in again. And it's not comfortable having a nose thing put down your nose.
Yeah, that's crazy. Did anyone ever like send you gifts or anything?
Yes, not really while I was there. When I came home for the week, some people I've met, they sent me a teddy bear and some chocolate. And a letter to wish me well, and some friends I knew also sent me some letters, but none of them were really while I was at the hospital. But my cousins and my family visited me sometimes.
That's awesome. I had a really good question. This is very unprofessional.
It's fine.
So your family visited you. Was that fun?
Yeah, I felt sort of it was fun, but I felt sort of embarrassed because I was just sitting in a bed. Yeah. I guess I shouldn't have felt embarrassed because like I was sick and stuff, but it was just weird.
Yeah. What do you think the hardest part about it was?
The time when they were gonna pull my tube out, I was gonna be awake, so I was worried that was gonna hurt, and when my mom told me about it, I started crying because I was really worried because before surgeries I would get worried, I would smile and or it's really nervous. I think that was one of the only times that I cried because I thought I was all done, but. Yeah.
Do you think that the experience was beneficial?
Yes, because now I feel more trust in doctors, and now I'll trust them if I have another life-threatening experience.
Yeah. Would you go through it again? Or if you could go back, would you go through it again if you had the choice?
Probably not. I'm not sure. I know it's weird, but sometimes I sort of enjoyed it, just sitting there watching TV. But it was fun in some ways, but it wasn't very fun in other ways. The question was was it beneficial for me, right?
Yeah.
I think it also helped with usually I'm almost sweating when I'm getting shots with the doctors. Now I still get worried sometimes, but it's not as bad as it used to be because I would have a lot of IVs during that time. So
yeah. Have you ever thought of being a doctor yourself after that experience?
Well, I never really thought of wanting to be a doctor because of all the blood and cutting people open and stuff.
Yeah. I've heard that you wanted to keep your appendix in a jar. Is that true?
Yes, because it would be fun to have a souvenir. and before then, I even brought a jar with some vinegar in it just in case, and I asked them if I could take it home. They said no, but it wouldn't have mattered anyways because it wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't happen anyway. So.
Yeah. What advice would you give someone who's going through that experience?
I don't think they should worry because if they worry, then for me, when I worried, it made everything worse. If I worried about having a surgery, that's the main thing that made me freeze up and really scared. And when I was worried about having the thing pulled out, that's I was worried about that, so it made it even worse. And when it happened, it didn't even hurt at all. Just the usual everyday hurts sometimes.
Yeah. What do you think they should do to avoid worrying?
They can try to get their mind off it and think of all the wonderful things they have already. And I think they should always try to think about the positive. I trusted doctors before that, of course, but like it made me trust doctors more because it's like I could have died, but they helped me, and so for me, I try to stay positive and think about the doctors. I think it was sort of interesting because a lot of times when I had like the tube down my nose, they would say, "Oh, it's okay, it's not gonna hurt," and that got my mom so frustrated sometimes too because like she's like, "You've never experienced it." But when they pulled my tube out, the woman who's pulling my tube out, the nurse, she said she'd had it happen before. So it helps a lot if they've had it happen before because then they actually know what it feels like.
Yeah.
But now I trust doctors more, and it will help to just stay positive. It'll help you not worry.
Yeah, it was cool. You said that like because she had had it happen, it helped you feel more comfortable with it. Do you think that might apply to you when you're trying to comfort someone?
Yes, well, like I think it would help if I told someone, like it would help that I went through that, and if someone else was going through that same thing, like with coronavirus now, I've heard that testings, they stick a needle down your nose. If I was the testing person, it might not help because I've done it before and I would know that it felt very uncomfortable, but I'd be understanding about it because I know how it feels and how uncomfortable it is.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about like your growth, your experience, what helped, what hindered, anything like that you might want to add?
It helped because my oldest sister, Tova, she would give me video calls and she told me a story because she's an amazing storyteller, and so that helped me. And unlike people, some of my relatives would give me phone calls just to see how I was doing, and that helped me feel happy a lot.
Yeah. Did you find any more? Did you feel more love during that time than you had before, or did you realize more people loved you?
I think I knew before that people loved me a lot, and so, but it felt good to have people love me during that time and stay by my side, because we don't usually get any video calls except on Sundays from our family members, and so it helped to know that they loved me and wanted me to be happy.
Yeah. I've already asked this, but now that you've really thought about it, what do you think you've learned from that experience?
That you should always believe in whoever's trying to help you, and you should know that people love you, and because if you don't know that, if you don't think that, then that might make everything harder, and you should try to think about the positives, and yeah, I think that would be a good way.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having this meeting with me, this interview. It was really amazing to see how you took that experience and how you learned from it, even though it was like really trying time. You were 10 years old and you had to go to the doctors for the hospital for like 10 days. So thank you so much for having this meeting with me, Mrs. Hava.